Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Matchweek Echoes. Malik and Abro are here, covering Premier League Match Week 11 in this episode. Welcome on board, Mr. Abro.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much, Malik Sir, for having me. Yes, we are back again with a bang. So
Yeah,
let's start, Malik Sir.
so a cracking week for the fixtures before the international break. Uh, Brilliant football, very exciting football that went down in this week. As always, I think we have a couple of matches, four in particular, that we'll be covering briefly, and then we'll be shedding light on the score line of all the rest fixtures. So I think let's get into fixtures, and I think the first one is Manchester United.
Yes, yes. United traveling to Tottenham. A very intriguing, enticing game.
Yeah,
Pretty much hyped up before the game.
yeah,
So and it delivered. It didn't
it did.
disappoint as a neutral, as a
Yes,
for
it
a
did.
neutral fans indeed. And I think overall it was a fair result. So let's just deep dive into the game and discuss some points.
Right. I think this
I
was a
think
fair result. Yes.
Malik साहब ये मलिक साहब आई थिंक यूनाइटेड आर in a good run. मेरे हिसाब से तो they're doing good. They're not giving up the towel. This is something a difference we can see from the last season or so, a couple of seasons. They're showing hunger, a desire not to lose. In fact,
True.
yes, indeed, some points are some talking points, or I would say they should close the game. But I think this is another step they need to take
Yeah.
before going. Yeah, उनको हम consider करें कि yes, next season they will be a threat for a title contender. So I
Yeah.
think slowly and gradually, Ruben Amorim is building something to be considered as a threat going forward. Again, Mbumo is in prime form. He's hitting the right. I mean, he's hitting his peak indeed. In fact, after the huge transfer, or again a very good, great header to start the proceedings when they lead. And then I think United dominated the first half. They should have scored another goal for me.
Yeah.
In the end, second half Tottenham came brighter, and I
They
think
did.
their substitution was spot on.
Yeah. Their
Substitute changed the
substitution
game,
was.
the flow of the game. They
Yeah.
brought more energy.
Yeah.
और आई थिंक रिचर्लिसन बहुत अच्छी मतलब उसमें था एक उसमें स्पार्क नजर आ रहा था एंड मथाइस टेल फ्रॉम द बेंच स्कोर्ड 84th मिनट इक्वलाइजर अगेन यहाँ आई बिलीव Matthias Dillett should have been more composed, should have been
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
I believe, quicker to stop that or block it,
Yeah.
but he didn't. And there was 1-1. And afterwards, the Malik Saab Tottenham was all over United
All over
in their
United. Yes.
box. Or unfortunate for the game, for the United perspective, Sesko missing a couple of guilty
Yes.
chances before they
Yes.
equalized, or then heading towards the tunnel for I mean due to injury. और यूनाइटेड को 10 मैन से खेलना पड़ा entire half entire I think last 10 to 12 minutes they've played with
Uh,
10 men which were challenging क्योंकि
yeah.
टॉटनहम बहुत अच्छे तरीके से अटैक कर रहा था and again they scored late. Richarlison with a goal poacher, I mean poaching goal, and
Yeah.
I thought that was the game for them. But then again, this is where United has changed. They never given, and Matthias Dillard with the absolutely wonderful Bruno
Yeah.
Fernandes
So he
assist
made up
to head it
for
in.
for the
Yeah, he
blunder.
made up for the earlier mistake.
Yeah.
Yes,
But something that I mean, as
and
as a defense player, I think he should have anticipated, that moment, and maybe could have, tried to stop the ball before the ball found its way back into the net. But I think he made up for it, and not after a very long time. Shortly after that. But what a cracking goal it was! The cracking fixture. I mean, overall, I think I'll agree with you that United are putting up to the fight. They're showing brilliant spirit. Something that was missing in the last couple of seasons, and it is forming up in the team. And every match that you see, I mean, this is something that you see this is building on. The spirit, the energy of the team, and how they are coming along each other. So I think good teamwork. United is displaying some very brilliant teamwork, particularly in the midfield and up ahead. And Mbumo is in prime form. He is delivering in every match. Even if he's not, his name is not on the scoring sheet, but he is always making significant contributions in the game. Similarly, I would say, Diallo Ahmad is all, whenever he is on the pitch, he's also always making positive contributions. Somehow, I mean, still to some extent, I think we still would want to see Bruno Fernandes in a more central role, making the play. But he is still better off than how he started this season. So he's still in a better position now. He's about moving forward, coming into the second half, maybe not going into the final third, but at least making some runs in the midfield and also tracking the ball back into the defense. I think Richarlison, he has also been in a brilliant form in this season, and this was a fox in the box. Beautiful, beautiful finishing.
Yes.
Some lovely, lovely awareness of how the game is being played, where the ball is, and where he is standing. Brilliant, brilliant finish. But then, I mean, the star, the showstopper of it all, the goal coming from Delight, you know, nobody, I think, expected this. From Delayed, at least, nobody expected that this goal would be coming from Delayed, at least. And in such a moment, this was already in the stoppages, cracking
The
fixture.
last kick, yes, the last kick of
Yeah,
the game.
so
And again,
cracking,
from
cracking
I
fixture.
think मेरे हिसाब से I believe Bruno is I think है so far
Yeah,
as a goal scoring midfielder या जिस तरह का उसका नाम है या जो इमेज है प्रीमियर लीग के अंदर
yeah,
I think it's not having a cracking or not had a cracking start to the season. But I mean, Malik Saab, even he has a
yeah,
poor game, he had got an assist. I mean, he is assisting.
yeah,
I mean, the guy is still creating from nowhere. The corner was another assist, and he's still
yeah.
leading top
No,
of
so
the
this is
pile in terms of the
so this
midfielder.
is what I'm saying, that I mean
This is his quality and class.
Bruno Fernandez is an attacking midfield player, somebody who can also become, and he has a talent. He has also displayed this. He has also played probably half of his career playing as a number 10. But here now, as the season started off, he was playing pretty much on the back line, and
Deep.
now,
He was too deep.
yeah, very very deep in the midfield. But now I think something has improved, and we see him making runs at least in the second half of the pitch,
I, I
right?
thought
And
the
making
game,
some,
yes,
yeah,
I thought the game was changed when Amorim brought Mason Mount into the mix because he
yes,
brought energy. I
yeah,
mean, he was sensational for last, I mean, 15 or 10 minutes when he
yeah.
came
And
in.
the game
I mean, he
actually
was
picked up the
brilliant when he
pace
comes in.
during this time, by the way.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah,
he basically allowed Tottenham. I mean, he basically stretched the game because
yeah,
Tottenham was all over and United with 10 men. So I thought
yeah.
the substitution was, I mean, very, very good
No, so this time I
at that
think we have
moment.
been very heavily criticizing the substitutions from Amorim, but I think this was a
But this time,
brilliant, spot
yes.
on. Yeah, this was a spot on substitution.
Yes.
And
So I
it
think,
gave the match and it gave the team what was needed at that particular moment. But this was a
yeah, for
lovely
Tot,
cracking fixture. I mean, we can't say that this is a disappointment, and in terms of scoreline too. By the way,
no, it
this was
lived up to the
expected.
expectations,
This
I
was
believe.
expected. Yeah, this was largely expected to be a draw. But
A goal
people
scoring
were
draw,
still
yeah.
hoping that maybe United, keep on and push on with their momentum, and they might, get 3 points from it. But this was still largely anticipated that this would end up as a draw, and it did. But brilliant football,
Yeah,
lovely football this time.
United could have wrapped up the match if Sesko could
There
have
were,
taken
yeah, you're
one out of
absolutely
his
right. There
two
were a couple of
chances.
missed opportunities.
I
Yes,
mean,
yeah,
vintage chances, a typical
yeah,
number nine finishing was required. But again, we have to give him time because he's still settling in from
yeah,
the Bundesliga. He came in from the Bundesliga. So, and again, he picked up an injury. I believe. I hope he's well and he's not up to the sideline on a longer run. But then again,
yeah.
cracking game, a good fair result. But for Tottenham, misery continues at home. They're struggling at home.
They are
In the last
struggling at
six
home.
home games, they have
Yes,
only one victory. So
yes.
this is alarming
And a
for
big worry
Thomas
for
Frank
them
and his
now. I
side.
think as the other teams are gearing up and they are losing points at this particular moment. Likewise, Liverpool. So a big sign of worry for them. But this was a brilliant football match. The first match that we covered,
Yes,
an
indeed.
absolute cracker, an absolute cracker it was. Right, and very meaningful 3 point. A single point for United, but very very meaningful at this point of time.
Yes.
When the teams are now hiking up in the table. So I think this was much, much needed. They did not lose the point. They stayed on their position. important single point. Now
Yes,
we
Sunil.
move on
आगे
to
बढ़े.
the next fixture.
ओके भैया, आर्सेनल फैंस, अबे क्या हो गया यार? आई
Oh,
मीन दिस
Gunners.
another late show, another cracking of a
Yeah,
game at light
yeah,
in Sunderland. Sunderland
yeah.
hosting Arsenal. I mean, everybody thought, okay, Arsenal on a, I mean, freaking good run, and they will going
They
to
are.
smash
They
another
are.
1-0 or
They are.
1-0 victory was on the cards. But then again, Sunderland came out of nowhere. Well, it's up. They had chances. Arsenal had chances to bury the game.
Yeah,
It
they
was,
did.
I mean, they dominated the game in the first half, in fact, and also second half they started the same.
Yeah.
But Sunderland was never out of it. Did they? They never out of it. I mean, look at that goal in the last dying minute. And what a finish by Brian Bobby. Wow. Amazing
And
goal. Ended 2-2.
yeah, bro, and
Stadium of
also, I
Light
mean,
erupted.
of all the teams, that could have posed a threat to Arsenal, or at least put a halt to their, to the winning spree. But Sunderland was probably not on people's mind that it would be Sunderland who would do this. But then Sunderland at their home, as I think we have experienced this, multiple times in the history too, that they are an absolute horror at their home. When they are in form, they are an absolute horror. And
A
I think
dream place.
something that, at least I did not see this coming, that this would, Arsenal would play a draw against Sunderland. And so it was. But yes, tracking fixture, Arsenal did had some chances and they could have put the, game to bed. Absolutely correct. But I think we could also give credit to Sunderland here as well, that they somehow bounced back. From all this, they still managed to bounce back.
नहीं, बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं आप. आई थिंक अगेन फॉर गनर्स, it had to be some point that they will lose some grounds because
Yeah,
it cannot go on, and they need to strike back. They need to I mean, get up from this. Although it's a draw, but then they've finally conceded a goal after 812 minutes. So, and
yeah,
again, David Raya made a critical error, allowing 90th minute equalizer. It was his mistake to allow Brian Robbie to pounce on it and flick it on with his right foot to the net to into the net. So I think David Raya made it possible for them to come back. So again, he's a human being; it can happen. The
it
pressure
can obviously it can
was
happen,
too
and I
much.
think
Yeah,
these
they
are
put a lot of
human.
pressure on him. And
Yeah,
again, it was a
human.
set piece. Arsenal
This was a
does
set
a set
piece.
piece. I mean, you won't hear this season because Arsenal is doing the same with against other teams. They're scoring on set pieces, free flowing on the corners. They were terrific. But then
And
again,
I think they have been the
it
most lethal
lethal
side on set pieces
on
this
corners, yes,
season.
especially on set pieces, yes.
Yeah,
And it came back to haunt them this time
yeah.
around. So it was
And
an
I think
error,
the
and
well, so
again,
overall, I believe overall, the number of goals coming from set pieces have improved a lot in this season, and not
yes,
just from Arsenal, but from the other teams as well. Now, so number of pieces which are being converted into goals, particularly corners, if I'm being honest. So it has improved a lot in this season. But this was still,
Gunners,
again, a match worth all the money.
yes,
At least, particularly
terrific
for
game,
Sunderland
terrific
fans.
game.
I mean, you have
Yes,
to give them credit. At home, they did not disappointed their fans.
मजा आ गया.
Uh, हाँ, नहीं,
Yes.
बहुत अच्छा. This was a brilliant fixture. And as
और
I'm saying it again, I think of all the teams, nobody was expecting this to come from Sunderland, but it did. And
absolutely, yes.
yeah,
They basically stunned the entire Premier League by this
yeah.
approach and
So
where they are right now.
a shocker, yes, a shocker of a match.
और गनर्स के लिए आई थिंक आगे दे आई थिंक दे आर फेसिंग टॉटनहम एट Emirates, so it's a London derby when the
Yeah,
Premier League resumes after international break.
yeah.
Wow, what a fixture that would be.
No, that would be a brilliant fixture. Acha, this also, by the way, as Arsenal are flying very high, up the table. They were 7 points clear before this fix, the last week. But then again, their draw and other teams, their draw actually enabled other teams to at least narrow the gap down.
Who came back in, yes.
Yeah,
जैसा कि हम कह रहे हैं मलिक साहब, this is a season full of surprise. This
this is
could
an
be
open
a shocker
season.
in its store. Nobody, I mean, all the people or the fanboys are predicting their side to win it. I think they're too early to predict because this is an unpredictable season loading.
And this is particularly right. I think,
Yes,
the
you cannot predict
top
this.
five, top five, and I would still go on to say that up till top eight, this is a
I mean, look
season
at the
that is
gap between top
pretty
eight, top
open.
10 sides.
Yes.
Look
I mean,
at,
just
I
look
mean, the
at them.
Champions League slots
Yeah.
are, I mean, hanging for the taking. I
Actually,
mean,
they are
anybody can take
shifting
this.
too, by the way. With every week
Exactly.
gone, they're shifting. And I think this is something that I anticipate in this season. This is going to continue until we reach match week 28 or 30th. This is
Exactly.
going to
Exactly.
change, still going to change. Not this rapidly, obviously, as you go into the later half of the season. But I mean, this is a pretty open season, Mr. Abru, and I would not be surprised, the top five teams. This can give us pretty different, a pretty different picture
Yes.
from what we usually see in Premier League.
I hope
Yeah.
it does, and I
I
hope
hope it
this
does
should
too.
be a.
Yes, I
I
hope it
mean,
does too.
I'm praying and I'm hoping this should be a unpredictable season because of the neutral perspective.
Likewise,
Because हमें
I
पता है
think
हम
it's
ये बात करते आ रहे हैं कि from
yes,
last 4 5
yeah.
seasons, I mean, Premier League was like just like we are watching Bundesliga, and
हाँ
we don't
नहीं,
want this.
obviously,
This
क्योंकि the
should be
point
a
is,
highly anticipated competitive league, and
so
they
I
should
think
live
the
up to
point,
this.
you're absolutely right. I think we say this a lot, the Premier League, and which is true, by the way, technically speaking, and from the viewership point of view as well. So, Premier League is perhaps the most supreme form of league football that you see on TV.
Exactly.
But this should also reflect in how the team and the table actually shows the final results at the end of every season, because it should not be a repeatedly four or six teams. The big six should not always be the big six. There should be
Yes.
competition and enough competition, because all the teams that you see in Premier League, I mean, even the sides which are in the relegation zone, they also possess talent, and they also possess pedigree that takes over any football club from European side. So they are on a technical skill set, on a technical level. I think they are on a very different league. Premier League is a different league altogether, and I
Yes.
think we have always been supportive of new teams coming in, and new teams showing their true form, their true spirit, color, their charisma, their character, and that should also be something that can be seen up on the table too. So the points table should also be a translation and interpretation of this. This is what we believe. So this the two fixtures down. I think we move on to London. Still, I think we stay in London.
जी जी बिल्कुल ऐसा ही है वी आर स्टिकिंग विद आई मीन वी आर स्टेइंग इन विद लंदन साइड्स चेल्सी ट्रैवलिंग टू वुलवरहैम्पटन
Oh, and again Wolverhampton. They
आई मीन
are. I mean,
आई
they
थिंक
are
a
just.
couple of more defeat and I think they're the bookies
I
favorite to
mean,
first side to be relegated.
as we said, Mr. Abro, in the previous episode, there are 10 weeks हुए ना, चलो give it three more. I think from there on, if we see if they continue with this performance, their door where they can make a comeback from is closing in very very swiftly. They don't have much time left to turn this around. And
Absolutely.
without a manager, without a permanent manager, I mean, this is still
Yes.
a daunting task. I would not say Wolverhampton or anything, because they don't have, they were managerless. They don't have a particular direction at this point of time. So this fixture was supposed to be how it ended up. And as their previous form has been telling us continuously in the last 8 or 9 fixtures. Uh,
Indeed.
but lovely foot. I think brilliant football from Chelsea. I think they materialized. They improvised on the opportunity, and they made full use of it. Playing against Wolverhampton, and somehow rescuing their position in the Premier League table at this point of time.
I think they need to bounce back. They need to find
Yeah,
a consistent way because of I think yes. Cole Palmer is missing is a big, huge blow. But then again,
It
they're
is a
doing very
huge.
much. They're doing great job without him, and
Yeah.
they're not. I mean, the defense was like very key to its
Yeah.
success right now because then
Yeah.
they were initially they lost games with. I mean, the errors, the red cards. I mean,
And
too
they were
many lapses.
sloppy in defense. I mean,
Defense, they were
something,
sloppy.
yeah,
I
sloppy in
think
defense.
that base has been so far covered, rightly so, and
Yeah.
Maresca is doing a good job at Stamford Bridge. And I think Chelsea should be a threat. I'm not counting them out of this because I know this is a pretty long season. जैसा कि हम कह रहे
This
हैं
is,
unpredictable है. Chelsea could be another team to challenge Arsenal for the
yeah,
title.
Arsenal.
This
Yeah.
is what I believe right
Yeah.
now.
And I think even if not for the, title contender directly, as we are saying, because it is pretty difficult to tell if there would be any other team who would be a contender for the title. As you know, as the table is shifting so frequently after every match week so far. But I think one thing is for certain, Mr. Rabru, and that is the top five position is something that is not being cemented right now. I mean, you see the gap between, even after this match week. So the narrowed gap between position number 2 and position number 10 is hardly 4, 5, 6 points, not more than this.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
nine teams lying around 4, 5 points is actually showing you, and it's actually telling you that this is a very open season and this is a competitive season. This season is for the takers, whoever is ready to take it on, right?
So who do you pick? I mean, क्या आपको Chelsea की side में right now, if you look at the game, I thought their
Yeah,
defense was remarkable.
there
They didn't
was.
allow Wolves for, I mean, to create any little openings. That was the
Yeah,
key.
yeah,
Although yes, Liverpool Wolves, they came at Stamford Bridge knowing that they should keep a low block and keep the
yeah.
defense intact because they were setting on a counter. But मेरे हिसाब से तो यार, they Chelsea were comfortable. Chelsea were disciplined. Chelsea were like all over. They controlled the ball. They know when to hit. They created the chances, and I think they deserve all 3 points. And
I
this is
think
in
where
Stamford Bridge.
I would agree with you that from the defense perspective, I think they are at least coming back to how the defense should be behaving in the matches. So they were brilliant in the defense. I think it was also good to see Delap again on the starting side.
Yes, yes,
So, yeah, after a very long time. But I think I would, with considering how Wolverhampton have been performing, I think I would have I might have still made some changes in the starting 11. And this is something that I'm touching upon that we have discussed very early on in this season, that Chelsea, while missing some important key players, including Cole Palmer, so Maresca needs to find a mix of different starting 11s that he can play where required. Right. So I think this match, I would have taken this opportunity and played one or two more different players in the starting 11, in the midfield too, and in the back too. But I think overall, they performed as expected. Uh, I think brilliant 3 points for Chelsea, and a welcome comeback in the top five uh, in this match week. So this was the third fixture, and I think we move on to the last one now that we are reviewing.
yes, yes. And what a way to, I mean, mark his 1,000th management
Appearance.
game
Yeah.
of his career. Pep Guardiola, hats off to him to achieving
Catch up.
this. Congratulations to Pep and his team and entire City fan base. And what a
Yeah.
game! And again, Liverpool misery. Malik Saab continue. I mean, this
Misery
they
continues.
don't have a clue right now.
Yeah.
And of course, Van Dijk and Konate showing the signs of, I mean, lackluster. I
Yeah.
mean, um, not very good game awareness. So, I mean, leadership qualities were missing right now, and I think it's a very, very worrying sign for Arne Slot because in his own right, he should be very worried, man, because this is fourth defeat in 5 games in the Premier League we are talking about.
Yeah. So, and I think,
So
I mean, starting from, as you mentioned, yes, a big milestone. Pep Guardiola, congratulations to Manchester City and all the fan base. and a brilliant fixture. I think 3 points. Haaland
Cracking.
scoring. Uh, but I think Liverpool. I think they might be they might have felt petrified, considering that there was a chance where Virgil van Dijk, they
Scored.
thought they scored and leveled the game, and that
वैसे
was
as
called
a
offside.
neutral perspective and hearing some officials, I think the goal should have been, I mean, the given. This
I think
was, I
yes,
mean, it was nothing wrong doing with that
yeah.
goal. I don't know why they've disallowed, but he was not
So
interfering.
I think all the
He
things
was coming back
apart
from the
from the
offside
match.
position, Robertson.
No, I think apart from the match, what I have understood, even after reading the reviews and articles on this, so I think there were a couple of things that's been highlighted, and that was that the player was in an offside position, and he was also obstructing the line of view for the goalkeeper. That actually forced them to call
No,
this an offside. But from a neutral perspective, particularly, even if not coming from Liverpool camp, but I think from a neutral perspective, I think the goal should not have been disallowed. I think this goal should have stood because
मलिक साहब,
no,
मेरे हिसाब से जो एक्स रेफरीज हैं उनके
yeah,
हिसाब से भी द पॉइंट दे आर मेकिंग दैट यस रॉबर्टसन वाज इन ऑफसाइड पोजीशन बट
yes,
he was coming back. He was not directly interfering. His body was not moving at all towards the goal, towards the ball. In fact, अगर आप
yes,
पीछे गोलकीपर को भी असेस करें तो जो लाइन ऑफ द बॉल है
yeah,
it was easily going past him
yeah,
no matter what. He was not
yeah.
reaching there. It
Acha, and
was
another thing,
going
I
towards
think,
the corner.
uh, matlab in favor of the decision that was given, I think it was also because the ball was played in the direction where an offside player was standing. Okay.
Yes.
So the ball was played in that direction, albeit that he was not an active player at that point in the pitch. He was not going for the ball or not looking for the ball. He was rather coming back from an offside position. But then again, I think this was a close call. But I believe as a fan, this goal should not have been disallowed. This should have stood. This should have given a game a very different ending, maybe. If not competition, but this might have even led to a different ending. But other
I
than
think
this,
that
I
could have
think
given Liverpool a hope
yeah,
of
that could have
staying into
given
the game.
Liverpool a
Yes.
hope.
Yes.
But I
But then
mean,
again,
even after
mm,
this, I just don't see. I mean, as I think we discussed this Abri, before this match week too. So when it comes down to tactical skills of the manager, strategies and everything, Arne Slot have no chance against Pep Guardiola. And although he is not being too active now as he used to be on the pitch before, but I think he's a masterclass in tactics and in his own way. And Arne Slot is still nowhere. Despite this misfortune, as they are calling it, but still, I don't see any other thing that was deployed in the game to turn things around in Liverpool's favor. You know, considering this, if this goal was ruled out, they did not still, they were not very creative. They did not put in anything out of the ordinary that could have changed this situation. And I think they are in a big trouble still in a big trouble. Yes,
absolutely. I mean, they're 8 point adrift of Arsenal.
yeah,
Arne
of
Slot has
Arsenal.
been prompted to say or dismiss talk of a title as
Yeah,
early as this goes. I mean,
yeah,
10, 11 games in and he's throwing up the towel. So that
yeah,
shows, that reflect the body language, the spirit of the
yeah.
players, how the dressing room is, getting this. But I think the leadership was missing on and off. Van
On and
Dijk's
off.
poor form continues. That is not helping Liverpool's cause. और हमने
At
पहले
all.
ही दिन से we were highlighting the way they've the way they've used their cash flows. They've signed some good players on very high cash flows, but then again they never address the problem which they have right now, and that
And
was their leaking defense. Their defense is in turmoil, and this could be the miserable
yeah,
season Liverpool
I think
will be
my
facing.
defense has been their Achilles heel in the season so far. I mean, I don't know if and also after this match, post match reviews and news coming in. So Bradley is also now being somehow associated with leaving Liverpool and joining any other club. Particularly, this sparked
Yes.
after Pep Guardiola mentioned him in a post-match conference and singled him out for his, good contribution in the game. So, and if that goes down, I think Liverpool would all be, this misery is going to go further big for them. If they lose another defense player, anywhere near, the coming transfer window, that would be a big blow to them again. But I think
मेरे
Liverpool,
लिए तो these, I think, for me, if you ask me, the man of the moment right now in City's color is
yeah.
Jeremy Doku.
Oh,
He
yes,
has been
Jeremy Doku
terrific
is,
from last couple of games. He's picked up his form. He's terrifying defenses. In fact, the right backs where he attacked
oh,
most,
I think,
Liverpool had no answer.
Doku is mostly regarded for his dribbling skills from the flank position. And I think now he's displaying that too, and in a very, very fashioned manner. So Jeremy Doku is in absolute brilliant form in this season. He has been in this season, and he has been very, very productive, positively contributing from his side. And now we can also see him taking part inside the box. And I think this is something that we have also discussed in the previous podcast, that this is something maybe Jeremy Doku becomes that particular midfielder that Pep Guardiola is missing. Somebody who can also contribute and pitch in, in the scores, score goals for City when needed.
मतलब सब यस बट मेरे हिसाब से अभी भी सिटी को अगर आप ओवरऑल देखें और
Yeah,
लिवरपूल की आई मीन their defensive midfielders where they are right now. They're struggling with both Solskjaer and McAllister. और अगर आप
yeah,
डिफेंस देखें तो आई थिंक इट वाज अ परफेक्ट गेम फॉर मैन सिटी टू टेक ओवर to
yeah.
thrash them apart. But then again, a very good side, a very balanced side with a good defensive midfielders
They would,
and
that would
with right back.
definitely, yeah.
The City will have some troubles on the
The
along
City
the
would
way because
definitely have some
अभी
troubles.
बहुत अर्ली है बहुत सारे सिटी फैंस आर
Yeah,
पार्टिंग लाइक ओके वी हैड इट आर्सेनल अगेन एंड वी
yeah,
विल ओवरथ्रो देम अगेन I
yeah,
still think this could be the season where we see a different winner this time around. I hope so because अभी तो season is taking another turn and they
yeah.
it will
I mean,
make another turn. This will
it's
be
not
the
even
most
one
unpredictable.
third.
So अभी से
Yeah.
पार्टी करने की जरूरत नहीं है सिटी फैंस. I know you're good, but again, this will be the
No, but I
unpredictable
think
season. Don't.
I think how I would put it in this way, what you're trying to say is, Mr. Abru, City is, although they are performing good, particularly Erling Haaland, but they are also not a side who are, without weaknesses. They have their own weaknesses and they have
Yes,
their own
yes.
challenges. So this is what we are pointing out, that going on in the season, they have already suffered from it in couple of fixtures so far. And this is something that is still going to haunt them, or, maybe become, a turning point for any match to go sour and go south
Mhm.
from their perspective. But right now, their win, I think this narrowed the gap down in the top two,
4 points.
right? And I think this was a brilliant, brilliant display from Manchester City, and a contribution to keep the top five alive, to keep the stable alive, and because this narrowed the gap down, particularly because they won and Arsenal played a draw, so that narrowed things down. Uh, but still, I mean, a lovely, lovely season going on so far, and I'm enjoying it every bit.
Yes.
Some might say, some might say that this is not an absolute, particularly, from the fan club of Big Sticks. There
Yeah,
might not
fanboys
be,
can say
there
whatever they
might be
want,
some
of
people who
course.
might not be enjoying this, but I think I like this open
For a
sort of
neutral
format.
perspective, for
Yeah,
the viewership of Premier League, I mean, this is bang on. This is spot
and
on. The
this is
season they craved for, and they are getting it right now, so
they
far.
are getting it, I think, and I think this is something that I would want to see, in every season of Premier League from this period on. So
Yeah.
that we, the first decade from 2000 to 2010, 11, 12, that we missed from Premier League, we would want that to come back. We would want that competitiveness to come back, brilliant style of play. And we would also want to see something that was pulled off by Leicester, you know, an
Yeah,
underdog
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
claiming on the
who could
title.
have? Yeah,
Yes,
who can
yeah,
forget that particular unforgettable moment?
yeah. So I think that
Yeah,
is
Leicester
also
did it.
something that I would still cherish
Blackburn Rovers
if it
in '90s
happens.
did it. Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I
So we
think
hope for
this is
that
all the
same
four
kind of
fixtures.
season. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think we're done with four fixtures that we were
absolutely.
reviewing. Let's recap on the on the rest of the fixtures that went down in this match week.
जी भैया ये Brentford is flying high at home right now. Newcastle
Brentford,
another
oh,
miserable
an
afternoon.
amazing
A
fixture.
cracking 3-1 win for Brentford.
Acha,
They
we
are
anticipated
at
this
home.
is
They are
going to be a cracking
very
fixture
tricky.
because of both sides recovering from their
Yeah.
last form. And this was, I mean, ooh, an amazing fixture. This one.
Everton continue to grow. 2-0
Yeah,
win
Everton
over
continues
Fulham.
to grow.
Again, Fulham hit and miss continues. And they are again, Everton with the win, they've eased their pressure on relegation fears. So another good win for Everton.
And I think
Nottingham
Everton
Forest, too good
say,
for Leeds at home.
I
3-1.
think Lever, NDI, जो है ना, I
Yeah.
think he would be on the list of many clubs now.
Many big
You
clubs.
know,
Yes, they
yeah,
will be monitoring him. Yes.
I absolutely
I
adore
like
him.
him.
He's a brilliant player. Brilliant
Great
player.
midfielder. Yes, yes.
So NDI
And
maybe, yeah.
I think nobody expected a nil-nil draw at Craven at Selhurst
Yeah,
Park.
nahi,
A surprise.
I was
I mean,
disappointed with nil-nil
both
at least. I
high-flying
mean,
teams facing each other. This should have been
too
a
high.
scoring
Yes,
frenzy, but then again, it
at
was
least
a
one goal aside to hona chahiye
real
tha. This
goalless.
should have, yeah.
Yes. हाँ
So a
ऐसे ही है.
goalless draw, a draw was expected. Yes, I expected a draw in this fixture, but not a stalemate. Nil-nil तो नहीं होना चाहिए था यार. At least 1-1
ये
तो
ऐसे ही
होता
है.
है
हाँ
भाई.
ऐसे ही है. I
हाँ,
mean,
मतलब
disappointed on.
so a disappointed match. This was a disappointed match, but overall, I think gameplay अच्छा था. Gameplay was absolutely brilliant.
Though they both basically, Malika, they cancelled each other out.
हाँ,
This
they
is the
cancelled each
story
other.
thing.
So this was a brilliant. I mean, gameplay was absolutely spot on. It's just the scoreline that I'm not fan of. No, I mean, yeah.
Last, of course, Villa Park. Wow. 4-0 thumping
Yeah.
of Bournemouth. Who could have seen this
Oh,
coming? I mean, of
yeah.
all Bournemouth team right now, who is very
Yeah.
good at defending and scoring on a counter
Yeah.
attack, I mean, they made to
I
feel
think they
like
were spellbounded.
absolutely. I mean, they never had any spells in the game when
They
they
did not.
dominated
They did
Villa.
not. अच्छा
Villa
वैसे हुआ क्या है
was
इनके साथ?
threat.
The
पता नहीं
cherries.
क्या हुआ?
What's wrong with them?
I don't
So
know.
this was the
I don't know.
second week
Maybe they are
consecutive.
hitting a blip.
Ah, they are because
Could be a blip,
this is
but
the
it could be a
second
blip. I
week in
mean,
a row, and I think they are on the field, but they are not showing any signs of what we have seen Bournemouth become. So this
yeah,
is not what Bournemouth
could be a blip.
that we know of lately. Yes, this is not
Because
them.
they've got a person who's very good at managing things. I mean, Areola is a one
Oh
top
yes,
guy.
yes, an
A lot of big
absolute
sides are
good man.
monitoring him,
Yeah,
so he could be landing a big job in near future after Bournemouth.
this is
So
expected.
I
Yes,
hope they'll come back. They'll bounce back
yeah, I
from
really
this.
hope
But
it. Yeah,
overall, a cracking weekend.
because they have been
Cracking
putting up
weekend
some
activity.
serious fight in the matches, and
Yes,
I am
yes,
not
indeed,
seeing
yes,
that in the last two fixtures. I've not seen that coming from them.
yes,
So
yes. They're
being
dropping
organized
form,
and
dropping
putting
in
up a
form.
fight is something that we have of late we have come to expect this from Bournemouth and Crystal Palace both, by the way, and Brentford too. मगर ये कि हाँ Bournemouth have been disappointing in the last two fixtures because of this only. Organized, so they are still organized, yes. मगर ये कि वो जो fight वाला element है ना, that's missing.
मेरे ख्याल से एंटोन सेमेन्यो की भी फॉर्म अब वो फॉर्म नहीं है जो स्टार्टिंग 4 or 5 weeks में आपको
हाँ नहीं खैर ये बात तो है.
He's
And I
dipping
think
in form.
they
So
rely
this could
on
be another
him.
reason.
Yeah,
उसको
they rely on him a lot.
too much. Yes,
तो
yes, heavily.
So I think Semenyo जो है ना वो उसकी जगह पे maybe yeah either he have some
They don't have
support
the replacement right
maybe
now.
yeah but still I would want them to come back to their form, at least put up the fight, what we expect of them. So the last
Cracking weekend, I think that was for a neutral
yeah yeah
overall.
so overall a very good footballing week.
Now the match to play. Yeah.
So we
अब
are
हम कब आएंगे
into
वापस मलिक साहब? International
uh,
cricket is going on.
so this will be we'll be
I
back
think next
again.
weekend. Next to
हाँ
next
जी,
weekend.
next weekend that would be 22nd or 23rd, I believe, 21st to 22nd होगा.
Yes, the Premier League resumes. Yeah.
And Premier League resumes,
और
and
फिर तो
also Champions League in the consecutive week.
Champions League resumes.
Yeah, तो वो एक साथ ही एक ही रो के अंदर ऑन हो जाएगा. Uh, we are not practically covering international matches at the moment. We will be doing so obviously as this progresses into the later half of World Cup finals. मगर ये कि right now uh, जो अब जो stage है fixtures की, so there are some important fixtures for some very big teams uh, जो अब चलेंगे right in this break that's going on right now. So आप अपनी अपनी teams को देखते रहें. Support them,
Keep
support their
supporting them.
matches.
Yes.
Yeah,
Stay loyal.
and we will also definitely be covering this as it progresses into an advanced stage. So I think this is
Hopefully,
this is
yes.
about it from this match week. So we
Yes.
call it a
Yes.
day,
That's
Mr. Abro. We call it a day, है ना?
absolutely. We call it a day. Sign off. Of
So
course.
signing off, a plea again as we do always to all you to please like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and try to disseminate, circulate this amongst your friend and family circle so this can grow. Uh, we'll be seeing you around in the next fixture, I believe, in the next week. So take care of yourself, Mr. Abru.
Yes. Take good care of yourself, your loved ones. Of course. We'll see you again when the Premier League resumes. Till then,
Yeah, yeah.
ciao and signing off.
Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.